guys, today I'm going to show you how I make my motorcycle routes using Google My Maps. I know there are a lot of other apps and programs out there that people use, and I've tried a bunch of them, but to me they all have at least one big flaw, like you have to pay money to do things like, say, download the route files, or they're just unbearably painful to use. Now, all you need to use this is a Google account. You just need to create, if you don't already have one, I think most people at least have a Gmail account. Create your Google account and make sure you're signed in. That's it. Then just go to google.com/mymaps or just search for Google My Maps and you'll find it. And we come to this interface right here. Now, if you've done any previous maps, this was one I just created for this test video, you'll see them listed here in thumbnail format. So we're going to start from scratch. And the first thing you do here is create a new map. Pretty simple. Now, this is very, very simple to use. However, it's not simple to learn because Google doesn't give you any kind of instructions. That's what I'm here for. So there are basically two different kinds of routes. I'm going to zoom in here near me. And this is a simple drag and drop interface for creating a route. Now, by route, I mean you are going to use some type of GPS navigation system, either a standalone like a Garmin or an app on your phone like I use. I use an app called Scenic. So I'm going to create the route, which is basically where I'm going to go, and then my navigation software is going to tell me turn left, turn right, turn on this street, that kind of thing. It's going to follow my route, but this is actually just physically laying it out on a map. Now, there are two basic kinds of routes that you can create, and there's just a slight difference in how you actually create them using this technique. That is a point A to point B, meaning say you're going to start at this intersection down here and you're going to end over here at this intersection, and that's your entire ride. And maybe your return ride is the same thing in reverse. You could create two different route files, one going this way and one going that way, but typically you only need to do one way. Most navigation apps have a function to reverse a route. So once you get to your destination in your app, you just press reverse and it sends you back the other way exactly as you came. Now, the other kind of route that I make is a loop, and that's where my start and end points are at the same point. And we have a lot of roads around here where that is very convenient. So we might meander and go around and kind of take a tour of an area and come back and end up at the same place. Now, I say that that's different because sometimes your start and end points are going to share the same road for a while. Say, for example, I start at this intersection and I want to come down Cortez Boulevard, and maybe the loop kind of ends over at this intersection, but this is where I'm meeting people. This part is shared because I'm going to go out this way. Maybe I'll go straight and the route takes me all the way back, and I come down this road coming back, but then I'm coming back along the same route to the actual start point. The only thing that's going to be different is just managing where we snap our line, and you'll see what I mean here. So this interface in the corner is pretty much everything you need to know. First, I like to give my routes a title. The title up here, the actual map title and description, is just kind of for your information. If you're going to be sharing this, like in that thumbnail view I showed you, maybe you want to pass this around to friends, that's where this comes in handy. So we'll call this test route 1, A to B. All right. Description, I typically put the same thing. It's just kind of your notes. It doesn't really matter. Click save on that, and that just updates the information up here. Now, down here is your layers sections. Untitled layer, I typically give it the same name as my title because this is what is going to be pulled up in your navigation software. Say, for example, you want to go to the Tail of the Dragon, so you're making a route called Tail of the Dragon. You know what? I may as well show you that for this good A to B example. So we'll call this Tail of the Dragon. So we'll take a flight up to North Carolina here and we'll go to Tail of the Dragon. Okay, so Tail of the Dragon is this nice twisty bit right here. We've got Deals Gap at the resort. Typically people use that as a start point, so that's what we'll use. And the end point is typically where it stops getting really curvy, right here at the overlook over the dam. So we're going to do an A to B route. We're going to start down here at the resort, and all we use is this draw a line button. It'll pop up with a selection menu, and we want to choose add driving route. What this is going to do is tell the system that we want to create driving routes, meaning you're going to give turn left, turn right, turn at this street kind of instructions for what we're doing. It doesn't have anything to do with being in a car or a motorcycle. This is A to B, give me navigation instructions. So the first thing you do is click on your start point. And by the way, you zoom in and out with the center mouse button, or the center mouse wheel, I should say. And you can click and drag with the left button to move the map around. Just like that. Now you can see that as I'm moving my cursor around, it's drawing a line, and it's basically saying, okay, take me from your start point, wherever you put that A, to wherever your cursor is. And you can zoom while you do this. You can reposition the map while you do this. And you don't have to trace the route or anything. It's going to automatically snap to the roads, so you don't have to be precise. All you're doing is going to whatever the next logical endpoint is. Now, because this Tail of the Dragon route doesn't have any intersections, it naturally just makes one big line. It's not trying to take me off course. But say I wanted to go over here or down here. Let's go somewhere where there are roads. I'll just show you here. Say we want to go down to Fontana Village. Now if we put a cursor down to Fontana Village, it takes the most logical route, but maybe we don't want to go that way. Maybe we want to come down this road here. You can see that it automatically snaps, but I haven't clicked anywhere. So what we want to do, if we want to force it to go down here, we just click somewhere. You can see this little pin that it turns into. All you do is place that somewhere, and it's just kind of like pinning a string of yarn. It just says, hey, make the route go this way. Now that's not a marker. That doesn't actually translate into your directions. That's just holding this line on the screen for you. So now we can go down this way. Now maybe we don't want to come in this way. Maybe we want to come down this road here. So all you do is click somewhere up here, and it puts another little pin on your line, and then you can finish wherever you're going. You can do that as many times as you need to make that line go wherever you want to. And you don't have to put them in along the way. So to make our simple A to B route here, we're going to add a driving route. We're going to click our starting position. We're going to let it draw the line. If we need to add a pin, we can do that anywhere along the way. And once we get to our endpoint, we just double click. And instead of dropping a pin, it drops a B point. That's our endpoint for going from A to B. Now once we have our A to B route, we can alter this and add to it at any time using these little drag pins. All we have to do, let's say for example we want to come down this road, we want to loop through here for some reason. All we have to do is hover over the route, we'll see a pin show up, and just drag it down. And it just snaps a new route, and you can do that anywhere you want to go. Now if you accidentally put in a marker or you just want to delete one, you just double click on it and it erases it. Simple as that. So that's it to creating an A to B route. Now if we want to share this directly, we can click this share button here. First thing you want to do is change your privacy settings. It defaults to being you as the only one that can do anything with it. You can choose it to public, meaning absolutely anybody can see it, or this is kind of like an unlisted but public, where you can send anyone the link and they can see it. We'll just do public to make it easy. By default, people can only view it, they can't modify it. If you want them to be able to modify it, you have to specifically say so. And you just save your changes there. Now this is the link that you send to anyone that you want to directly see the map. or you can send directly through social media here. And they also show up right here in your thumbnail view. So this is kind of your catalog. Now some navigation apps, all they require is this link. And you just paste this into its import screen and it imports your route. Others need a GPS file. And if you click the 3 more buttons here, you can export to a KML or KMZ file. And the defaults work just fine. All you do is download it, and then you've got a file that you can send or directly import into the navigation app of your choice. Now if you want to use one of your routes as a baseline for another one, maybe you want to expand on it, you can just copy the map and start a new one with what you've already done. Let's go ahead and do a new map, and I'll show you how to do a quick loop. Okay, let's say I want to go around the Ocala National Forest here. I'm going to start in downtown Ocala here at the intersection of 75 and 40. So we'll do our add driving route. This is our start point. Now I'm going to use 40 to come in a ways. And then I want to loop south. I'm going to go around and we'll come back and meet somewhere right around here. So I'll go ahead and put a pin in. I'll let it route south. Oop, don't want to go through the forest. We want to go around it. So I'll just put a pin there. We'll just let it go around for this demo. Not really concerned with the actual roads, but you'll get the idea. And we'll come up around here. Sure, that looks good. And we'll come back down here. Now I want my endpoint to be back here near the A. I'm just going to put a pin right before this shared road, and it's still going to follow the same route. And I'm going to double click right down there at B. So that made my nice loop. Now like I said, all you have to do is be careful and put the pins where you need to make sure it snaps in the right place. That's the only difference between an A and a B and making a loop, is just being careful with your pins. And like I said, these are not navigation points. They don't translate at all into your directions. It's just to keep this line where you want it on the map as you create the route. That's it. That is really all there is to creating whatever kind of route you want in Google My Maps.